Team coverage of the Jason Stockley verdict, found not guilty earlier this morning in killing Anthony Lamar Smith back in 2011. And right now you were taking a live look from Sky Zoom 4. We know on the streets of St. Louis right now, specifically at Tucker and Market, there is a large protest. Protesters that have have gathered to really speak their displeasure of this verdict.
And now we'll go live to Justin Andrews, who is down in that crowd this afternoon. Hi, Justin.
Well, good afternoon, guys. We're on the move again. This group is now they're on Tucker, going back toward passing City Hall. This is where they started a few hours ago. They're actually on the move yet again. It looks like, again, as I've been saying all morning, there's no clear direction of where they're going, but right now they're walking on Tucker, headed past City Hall. Again, they have been on the move all morning. They started here at Tucker and Market, marched down here, turned right on Clark, tried to get on 64 when police met them and said, we're not allowing you to go on the interstate. They got off that on-ramp, went down to Spruce and I believe 14th, stood in the middle of the intersection there, chanted, made their voices be heard. They went on the move again, marched their way back to the heart of downtown and then back on Olive to go to the police station. This is what we're seeing right now. You see those signs right there being held as these people are making their way. Nick, if we can pan over, they're actually going right in front of City Hall here on Tucker. Look at this. They're climbing up the steps. They're holding their fists, holding their signs, and then facing the direction we're facing to make their voices be heard. This is what we've been seeing all morning. The protesters seem to be relatively peaceful at this point. There haven't been any violence at all. I just spoke with the father and son before this noon live shot, and they basically said that's their goal. They want to be peaceful. They want everything to play out very smoothly. So they're trying their best, according to them, to be peaceful. And police, they're allowing them to do so. They're allowing them to have this freedom. They've been able to block off intersections. In fact, I think Mayor Lyda Cruz, she wanted them to stay in one specific location. The police department, they allowed them to be free and roam the streets. That is what we've been seeing all morning. We've been with these protesters every step of the way. You can see they're holding signs, but we're going to stay out here and monitor this situation. Our Ray Preston is also in the midst of all of these protesters. So we're going to send things back to you guys.
All right, Justin, thank you. And just a quick update, there are some fly restrictions in place, so Sky Zoom 4 has actually had to move up in the sky. So we're hopefully going to be checking in with Mark Griffin about the developments on that.
We also want to get things over to Lauren Traeger. She has really been our expert in this case. She's been in the courtroom since day one, and she is live at the courthouse where the St. Louis Circuit Attorney just held a press conference. You're going to talk about that press conference, and Lauren, I know you can really give us some context of this case back in 2011.
Yeah, guys, we are here at the courthouse where that trial took place. We're just about a block away from Justin Andrews. You can see there are some protesters behind me, and I've been watching them sort of grow in this area. But yes, I did sit through every moment of that trial, and I want to give you a little background on exactly how we got to this day. It's been 6 years in the making, you could say, to get to this day. It all happened in 2011. Started with an interaction between Anthony Smith and police. Then it went to a chase. There was a police chase. Certainly Smith fled from the police. And then Jason Stockley shot and killed Smith just about 3 minutes later after that interaction began. Now, prosecutors at the trial strongly argued that Stockley intended to kill Smith. They argued that Stockley planted a gun on the scene. The defense, though, all along has said that Stockley acted in self-defense and acted as a reasonable officer. And of course, now we know that a judge has essentially agreed, you could say, with the defense argument. The judge has said that there was not enough evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It is important to note there was no jury in this case. Only a judge decided this case because Jason Stockley waived his rights to a jury trial. The prosecutor in this case, we just did talk with her not too long ago. She's the city's first African-American prosecutor and just elected and took office this year. She didn't charge this case, but it was her job to prosecute it. She says she's just as disappointed and frustrated. Let's take a listen.
In the case of officer-involved shootings, we must re-examine not just how we prosecute these cases, but how we investigate them. The ability to have a comprehensive and objective investigation is critical to the unbiased pursuit of justice. I understand the verdict has created frustration and anger for many in our community. I'm frustrated as well. Destruction of our community is not the answer. This is not the time to allow a few in our community to create senseless destruction and cause useless devastation. We cannot let the naysayers and guardians of the status quo let us miss this opportunity to seek real change. Change to a system and mindset that has existed for many decades. However, you cannot change what you choose not to confront. We must change our approach to how justice is pursued. We must decide as a city which is stronger: our desire for a criminal justice system that delivers fair and impartial justice, or our resistance to change. I invite the St. Louis community to use its energy to join me in working to establish a better way to pursue justice in officer-involved shooting cases. I'm asking for the community's support to help me secure the necessary resources needed swiftly and fairly to investigate these cases. I know there are better ways that we can do this if we join together and make the system work for us all.
Now, it was legally possible for the judge in this case to consider lesser included homicide charges like murder second degree or voluntary manslaughter. Of course, we now know the judge did not find that there was evidence in those charges also. So Jason Stockley is not guilty on all of charges. Circuit Attorney Gardner still stands by the fact. She says this was the right charge. Murder first degree was the right charge, but she does have some ongoing concerns. As you heard there, she's now calling for these types of cases to be investigated by an independent body, by her office from the very outset. She said she also had some concerns about the behavior of the other officers who responded on the scene that day. Certainly she wants to continue this conversation and she wants to bring change moving forward. We have reached out to the defense teams on this, of course, as well. There's another side to this. We do expect to hear from the defense. So back to you.
All right.